So, as you know, we just finished doing a three-part series on the structure of presence, but I wanted to go back and start where this came from because I was completely blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this all started with a question that I asked ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
and I can get into that if you want me to. But the question I asked was, what is presence? Where does it come from? And honestly, it blew my mind because I expected something about calmness or focus or mindfulness or herbal tea or whatever. And but this is what it said. It said lack of presence is information. It's a message.
Yeah.
And
It's something catching your attention.
right. And so that line stopped me cold because it took me into my therapy practice where I do exactly that. And the more I
Mm-hmm.
sat with it, the more it revealed. Presence isn't about trying harder, it's about listening better. What do you think about that?
It's beautiful. Uh, and it kind of makes sense the times where, I think there are certain circumstances that pull people into presence very, very likely, and maybe childbirth is one of those, or like if an animal is born, there seems to be this like bubble of peace that like ripples through the area and everyone there is in presence. And it's almost like you heard this song that really caught your attention, right? And it's not like
Well,
every song catches your attention. It's not like every moment pulls you into presence, but maybe there really are just some moments that pull you in, and there are ways you can go out of your way to put that song you like back on so you can be in presence more often.
well, in the next few minutes, we're going to show you how to recognize misalignment, process it, and return to presence without effort, without bypassing, and without faking calm.
Mhm.
I like
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
faking calm.
Yeah. Well, we invite you to soar with us. Mark and I explore consciousness and how to live a happier, more fulfilled life. So please join us. We love it that you're here.
And we share consciousness in the sense of experiencing it, what you're
Mm-hmm.
doing to block it, how it affects
Mm-hmm.
relationships, and in all kinds of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, the first question, I guess, is what is presence really? Not stillness or clarity, not a mood. I think people think presence is when everybody gets quiet and everything is clear, or I'm in a better mood than I've ever been before. But we're going to see that it's something more than that. Presence
Mm.
is a felt sense that all parts of you are flowing according to your design, moving together aligned. And in our previous video, uh, what was it called? Inhabiting presence, or no, living presence. We talked about how we have a design of awareness, and that consciousness is trying to reflect that design and experience itself through us as a mirror. And
Right.
so presence is that feeling you get when everything is right, when you're that clear mirror that awareness is reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound something? So it's almost a feeling of flow, or like everything is just right in that moment.
Yeah, to me, it's like very harmonious. Everything's working together. Everything is working easier because everything is working well. There's just
So
like a whole sense of relaxation with it.
here are a lot of words. I apologize for all the words, but in presence, the sense of self becomes quiet. I think this is really, really important.
Yeah, that's true.
You're no longer tracking, managing, or narrating. So, this is a big clue right here. So, if you're experiencing a sense of self, you can't experience presence. So, if you're
Right,
evaluating yourself, you can't experience presence.
right.
So it's not that you disappear, it's that you stop being the center of attention.
Right. Like of your
A-
own attention.
Awareness expands and the usual you recedes.
Hmm. That that makes sense. And I've noticed the times where I've been able to enjoy life the most has come when I spend less and less time really thinking about myself.
Say, something I've noticed in probably the last 6 months, maybe a year, that something really fulfilling happens. And it's a fleeting thing, but let's say I'll have something on my mind. And for some reason, I have to get up and I have to do things, or my attention gets diverted. And on my way to another room in the house, or, to get into the car, whatever, all of a sudden, there's this information that just comes to me.
Hmm.
And it's verbal. It's a verbal thought, but it's not my
Hmm.
voice.
Hmm. I get that.
And I've learned to train myself to realize that's the answer I've been looking for. It clicks. And this is starting to happen with greater frequency. And I really think it's that moment of presence when the self is set aside and there's room for this thing to emerge into your awareness.
Makes sense. And whether you want to call whatever this thing is that has this sort of goodwill for us, whether you want to call it God or the universe or source consciousness, I don't know. But what I can is that if we are living because the universe wants to experience itself
Right?
and we are drawn to, I'm paused. Okay, I'm back. If we are brought into this life and there's like this goodwill for us that's seemingly keeping wanting to heal us,
Mm-hmm.
is wanting to pull us into presence with it, which is joyful, right? It has a
Mm-hmm.
goodwill for us, I
I,
think, at least
I
sometimes.
I really like what you just said, I think the field of consciousness has a motive for that, and the motive is
Right,
it wants a clean experience of itself through us.
right, right, right. Which is why I think um, there's a pattern of like getting better and then letting the next layer of distortion off.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, okay. That's so cool.
And I might just make a comment. I'm not going to edit out what happened there a minute ago. Christina and I have screaming fast internet. And so it's not our connections that makes these little technical problems occasionally. I have no idea where they come from. But
True. You're getting
and
the organic experience. You're getting what we experience.
as a matter of fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I replaced my Wi-Fi with a hard line. So now I have an
Uh-huh.
Ethernet connection. So we're both at a gig. So this
Nice.
should not be happening. But the gods somewhere.
Yeah. We're letting you see how the sausage is made.
So what this is supposed to depict is that we're looking through our eyes at this amazing thing we call life that we really
Mm-hmm.
cannot see if we're constantly doing self-evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
if we can set that aside, this is what presence has to show us. I don't know if that.
Yeah.
And so we're missing, the beauty. In other words, think about it this way: we're not living life; we're thinking life. And our experience of life is not life itself, it's the experience of the commentary about the experience of life,
Right.
which is a really poor substitute.
Right. Right. You want to watch that new movie or listen to an audio description of that new movie?
that's pretty well. It's like, this is probably over everybody's head, but in the old days there used to be a really well-known sportscaster. His name was Howard Cosell. He was
Hmm.
just he was just really obnoxious, and it's like having this commentator that's really obnoxious in your head all the time, telling you
Hmm.
what everything means, so that
Yeah,
you don't
and you
have to
don't
take
do
the
that.
time.
You'll actually already know what it means. You don't need to listen to that voice.
All right,
Over time, you will.
people are pulled into presence with body work.
Hmm.
You've talked a lot about this, Christina.
Yeah, right.
Momentarily forgetting their past, future, and identity. You just
Hmm.
texted me this yesterday.
Yeah.
Being feeling suddenly released from their normal state of thought. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. It's such a fun moment in body work. You have someone on the table and they're just like, "Hi, how are you? Oh, my day's great. This is a vacation I'm going to take. These are what my kids are doing." Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom. Like this stillness is like palpable in the room, and their face, it's like they look at you. The actually people will most often make eye contact in this moment, I'm realizing, but they'll have this moment where they're so relaxed, and it's like they'll look at you like, what is going on? But at the same time they're like, and I love it and I never want it to end. And in fact, like, sometimes, so usually it's subtle. It will happen when the room's quiet and, someone's like ready to notice subtle things. But a couple times it will happen with people that I'm just hanging out with, my niece or a friend, and I would like do a little craniosacral move on their feet or on their ear or something like that. And there'll be like a conversation going, and they'll just stop the conversation and look at me and go, "What are you doing right now?" Because they're feeling like everything's different. It doesn't seem like that much has changed.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So what you're describing is presence emerges. What is it about the body work that allows that to take place, in your opinion?
I think it's a physical reality. I think there is, whether it's just electricity or more, that there is some physical transference of what's going on in the world and what's going on with the person and how they interact with each other. And when the physical body is more relaxed and grounded, that person seems to have like a fewer number of thoughts. They also seem to have a slower heart rate. Like there's these different
Well, what
physiological signs
what
that
about the
show.
body? Is the body releasing something that allows this to happen?
Yeah, so yes, and I think it has to do with fascia a lot of time. So when I am working on someone and they're finding presence, it does sort of loosen the whole body.
Hmm.
Maybe like hypertension goes down, and maybe that's part of why the heart rate can slow. But also, I notice that there will be times when people are in presence, when people are calm. That's when their body starts to lead us to what's the next thing that isn't right.
Ah,
It's when the whole nervous system actually kind of buzzes a little bit, but when you find that moment of presence, you actually bring a quietness over the whole nervous system, and only the areas that are hurt still buzz.
interesting.
And so when you go there, they're ready to start like talking. If there's an emotional connection to it, they'll just start talking about whatever the event is. They'll
Oh,
just know. They know. They don't
okay.
even realize they know that it's like
Right.
something deep in them is pushing this out. And like many times I go, "Oh, I didn't even know that was so important to me," or "Wow, I didn't realize this was
Hmm.
so heavy for me," or "Wow, I didn't know I could think differently about this." And then those parts that were buzzy and loud, that part of the nerves get calm, and the fascia seems to really release there. And I see fascia change the most when people change their beliefs. So it really has caused me
Wow.
to think that perhaps our body shapes and the way we're supported are mostly based on what we think the world is and how we think we belong in it.
It's interesting hearing you say that because I have the same experience with people when doing psychotherapy. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
I've been a psychotherapist for 26 years, and Christina obviously is a massage therapist who does cranial sacral therapy. But my experience when I meet with people for the first time, they would if I let them talk in just the right way, they would literally tell me what the problem is and where it came from without knowing that they did it.
Yep. It's like something inside of them is pushing it out.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
And
so
maybe that's that goodwill. Maybe that's that goodwill of whatever the universe has for us. It's like constantly trying to tune us to
I like
harmony.
that. I like that. So
It never
presence
takes a break.
presence is a structure. Presence is when your body, attention, and emotions are moving together, nothing lagging, nothing pulling away. It's when your system isn't fighting itself.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
So now we're going to talk about misalignment, what misalignment really feels like. Misalignment is when everything is in harmony except perhaps one part of you. That part may be small, quiet, hidden, but it's still holding tension.
Mm-hmm.
And this really
Mm-hmm.
does take us to body work, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And what's interesting is you could see five different people and they would each bring something different out of you. Like if you could rewind time and then go see
Mm-hmm.
someone else, it's like what you share in common and what they have the ability to like usher in for you. Your non-conscious knows it and basically negotiates that with the massage therapist without either of you having to talk about it.
So this we're going to talk about this misalignment. Why do we want to talk about it? Because when something's misaligned, it's preventing us from experiencing presence.
Right.
And that's why
AKA
misalignment is important.
A, well, right. Well, AKA not experiencing presence is not it's almost like to be cut off from water after you have it.
Yeah.
It's like it is a lifeline. Presence is so beautiful and lovely and it's so life-filling.
So, from a massage therapy standpoint, tensions that signal misalignment, these are just some I came up with. You can comment on these or add some to the list. Tight jaw, shoulders hunched or raised, neck stiffness, stomach clenching. One time I found out why my shoulders were hurting so much,
Hmm.
and my intuition was that I had the world on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an
Right.
interesting
I know
metaphor.
we have all these idioms. I think we used to know this well.
Yeah,
Your pain in my back. I don't think people meant it metaphorically.
right.
I think we just stopped trusting ourselves and stopped learning how to hear our bodies over time.
Neck stiffness, that's a big one. Stomach clenching, chest compression or tightness,
Absolutely.
shallow breathing. A lot of people don't breathe. Fidgeting or restlessness, clenched fist or jaw grinding.
100%.
Wow. Eyes strained or fixed, unfocused gaze.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Um, Indigestion of any variety of any kind. Let's see what else. Like headaches, low energy, um, overly emotional. Um, yeah, just these are all things like if you're having a hard time even like remembering or if you're depressed, like these are all things that can like these can be from compressions in your spine, those things. So
so this
there's
this
plenty.
this depicts how those things that Christine is describing kind of chokes off presence in somebody's life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Emotions that often reflect misalignment, irritation, of course, anger, anxiety, resentment, confusion,
Mm-hmm.
emotional flatness, guilt or shame, restlessness or boredom. So the point here is that if you're feeling tension in your body, if you're feeling emotional, you're discouraged, whatever it is, it's all a telltale sign that there's something going on that's blocking your experience of the fulfillment of presence in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the fun way to like test the opposite is when you do have a victory overcoming something, take a notice of your body. What feels more relaxed
In-
on you?
Interesting.
And and when you're upset, take a look at your body. What hurts on you? And I'm going to ask a second question is also take a notice if you feel anywhere on your hands or feet because I'm starting to think that that we can kind of access a lot of the body, not just with reflexology, but with fascia through the feet.
Okay.
So you
Or
can rub that spot out.
anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now here's the key to this whole thing today. As we said at the beginning, misalignment is information. We usually try to suppress that part to stay on track. But that part isn't the obstacle, it's the message.
Mm-hmm.
Misalignment says, I'm almost whole, but I've left a piece of me behind.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that like coincides with how traumas come out on the table. Like how someone releases their misalignments.
So, why processing or not fixing matters? Fixing says, shut up, we're moving. Processing says, I hear you. What do you need before we move?
Mm-hmm.
Pausing
I
to
think that
name the thing.
compassion is so important, especially and even when you're dealing with yourself, especially if you're not used to giving it or having received it.
True. So, why processing, not fixing matters. So,
Mm-hmm.
what people do is when they have misalignment in their lives, they want to run from it. They want to make it go away.
Yep.
And then they can't experience presence.
Right.
They can never be present.
Right.
So pausing to name the feeling, as somebody who's worked with people for, you know, 26 years, I can tell you there are a lot of people out there who don't even know what they're feeling.
100%.
Let the body speak without interruption,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging the truth behind the tension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Truth.
so this is
Sometimes
this.
even, can I just say one more
Go
thing
ahead.
about that? Sometimes even when you realize you're super stressed out, like take a second and just take a few breaths and try to relax your body as much as you can, like whatever you notice. It's really astounding actually how quickly you move into like bracing yourself
Hmm.
in really intense ways and you're so used to it, you don't know that it's happening anymore.
Right.
But that awareness is good information and it helps you see too like, oh wow, I could work on presence more. Like I could work on being aware of my misalignments more so I can let go of them.
So this is a metaphor that I've used in my practice over the years that I think is very powerful, and that is when you identify these misalignments, emotional reactions, body tension, whatever it is, it's like a phone
Yeah.
ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when a phone rings, what do you want to do?
Answer it.
Answer the phone, exactly.
Who's
And
calling? What do they want to say?
exactly. And so that's what I tell people. I said, if you're feeling sad, if you're upset, if your back is hurting, you need to pause, turn into the feeling. You don't have to, feel the feeling, but you have to acknowledge that you're having this feeling and know what the feeling is, and then ask the question, what is there for me to learn from this?
Mm-hmm.
What is this feeling?
100%.
What is this emotion trying to communicate to me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And with mastering thought, it's not about getting it the first time. It's not about getting it every time because we are creatures like you can't fix the fact that you're a thinking animal. Like there's nothing to do about that except
That's so true because when I went through this, I had to ask this question for weeks, but it led to the most powerful spiritual awakening experience I could have imagined because I just
mhm.
kept asking the question, what am I supposed to see that I'm not seeing? What am I supposed to learn that I don't know? What is
Yeah.
what is this tension? What is this emotion trying to teach me about myself
Mhm.
that I need to
Mhm.
see?
Mhm.
Now, this is the
Right.
benefit. When you process the misalignment, it integrates itself.
Right.
So then
100%. Yeah.
presence returns naturally. You don't have to chase it. And I got to tell you, I think the internet, if you look around, is full of people chasing presence because they think that's what they're supposed to do.
It's very understandable. Presence feels so good. It is so good for you. I would love to see the health panel information of someone who's practiced presence well for 20 years versus someone who's like the average American. You know what I mean? And at the same time, it's so available to us if we can have the right tools. And I know you have the right tool, Mark. Let's give it to them.
Here it is.
Let's give it to them.
Awaken to presence with moment mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Christina came up with this illustration, but if, in my opinion, I know you come from a different world, Christina, but in my opinion, people's thoughts are the major obstacle to experiencing presence and flow in life. And people are addicted to their thoughts.
I think so. The times that I have been least present is when I have been the most unhappy and the most obsessed with thinking about my situation and myself in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the times where I'm most happy is when I'm just so pleased to be seeing what's happening in front of me or experiencing what I'm in that I just check out of
No,
yeah, my regular context I think in.
now this exercise we're showing you right here. This is the exercise that I taught Christina that led to her awakening experience.
Mhm.
This
Yeah,
is
it's so
this
easy. You can do it too.
this is the exercise I teach all of my clients because all emotional psychological problems come from the voice in your head that sounds like you talking to you.
Mhm.
All emotional psychological problems that aren't organic, I should say. If you were hit in the head with a 2x4 when you were 2 years old and you've got traumatic brain injury, okay, that's
Yeah, that's
different.
different.
So sit with your eyes open
Mhm.
and wait for the next everyday thought. This is very important.
Mhm.
The next everyday thought. So, what's an everyday thought, Christina?
I need to tie my shoe.
There you go. And all you're doing is bringing to your awareness that you're thinking. That's all you're
Mhm.
doing.
Right.
Now, in
It could
order to,
be the room is cold. It can
whatever.
be whatever.
So, in order to bring to your awareness that you're having a thought, you have to shift networks in your brain, literally, and this results in a rewiring over time.
Yeah.
And the instant that you notice that you're thinking, the thought goes away. The voice in your head instantly disappears. Now, it'll come back
Mhm.
again. That's okay. That's not part of the exercise. We don't care about that. But it's
Right.
that momentary, in psychology, we call it metacognition.
Mhm.
So you just momentarily notice your thinking, and the thought instantly stops, and that's the end of the exercise.
Mhm.
Now, if you do this 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 times a day, over the course of a few weeks, probably shorter than that, you will have an awakening experience and you will
Mhm.
awaken to presence. That's the first thing you will feel is presence. the moment this happens.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay?
And I want to encourage people too. It's very easy to know about this exercise and not do it. So
That's right.
I want to encourage people to really consider trying it. And if you want to do it, drop any emoji into the comments because I think it would be fun to root for you as you're doing it. And perfection isn't necessary. Just keep doing it as long as you're remembering it and are aware of it.
So drop something in the comments, or, and we'll respond back, or scan this QR code. There's also going to be an email address in the show notes. But contact us and we will lead you through this process. We'll introduce you to our online community called Thought Masters,
Mm-hmm.
which is a group of people that are working on this themselves, and some of them learned it years ago and are helping other people. But we're dedicated to helping you through this process of experiencing more presence in your life.
We can be your people. Let us know.
All right. So remember, mastering thought is the key to unlocking your potential.
Until next time, look deeper and live bolder.
We'll see you then. Bye bye.